Hello and Allahu Akbar, the Baha'i greeting, God is glorious. To all the people of the planet, my name is Abbas Tamori. I'm of the Persian, Iranian origin, mixed with other races perhaps even in that country. Today time is 10 minutes past 5 in the afternoon on the 9th of August 2011. I will be going today to talk to the people in Japan. Actually, it was something in my mind that to talk about suicide. This is one topic I haven't spoken, probably there are a few others. And because there are a lot of suicide in Japan, better now, but still it's very high. So I thought to use this opportunity and talk about the suicide in Japan. Might be helpful. To begin with, we have to understand this is not the problem of the Japan or Japanese system or government or people. This is a distinguishing mark of all the countries in the first world that they are progressed economically and sociologically. This is a drawback of the civilization. This is the side effect. You won't see much of this suicide the way we see it in China or in India, in Pakistan, in Mexico. You won't see a lot of it. The man in the past, his needs were very limited. In Japan, a Japanese had a small farm, was part of a farm, and his social circle were very small. He probably would not even fly out of his, there was no airplane. He could not even afford to go even see probably the capital city in his lifetime even. So his social circles very, very limited, and the people that he was looking at, seeing as, is very, very limited, very minute. This fellow had some spiritual background. They were telling him that the emperor of Japan is the son of a goddess, that is the descendant of goddess. He would accept it. He said, yeah, it's okay. There was a coordinations between these economical, social, and spiritual values. They were all in the same level. Today, though, things have changed. The man of today is progressed. We say it's progressed. Undoubtedly, he has progressed in the area of economy and the area of social life. Economically, he's not just looking for a house. The things that he needs compared to his ancestors just a few hundred years ago is not even comparable. You need a car, you need a telephone, you need a few different telephones. You need a cell phone, you need iPad, you need TV, so many things that has become a part of the essential part of your life. And your house looks like a factory. A house without fridge, without a stove, without a microwave. So we have increased our need, expanded. Our character is not expanded at all. It's just our needs is expanded. This economical needs definitely bring some social changes in your life. Now if you can't get them, you will be embarrassed. Compare yourself to other people. You feel like a failure. All my friends, they have great degrees. People 200 years ago didn't go to a school even. Well, what grade? Now, you gotta have all this kind of achievement. Pressing on the man to achieve a lot more. Okay? This creates a chaos. That is the source of the problem. Okay. On the other hand, alongside of the economical and social aspect of life is the spiritual values has not changed. Basically, they left it alone. Economical issue, material issue is tangible. You know it. You want it. You can easily tackle it. Most people do. Sociological problem, they might be tangible, but the solution to it is really intangible. It's difficult. Yeah, I want that girl to marry me, but try to find a solution to do it. I don't want to be embarrassed because I failed in my subject. Try to deal and explain this, that it's okay to fail in what everybody else is succeeding. Very difficult. So it is somewhat more difficult. But when it comes to the spiritual value, it's totally subjective. It's not tangible at all. And mankind altogether, they have decided to let go of these things. It was the foolish stories of the past. It has nothing to do with us right now. This is what the progress in our last few centuries have brought us. It's both in Japan and in the rest of the world. They just let go of it. I have to say, Japan and England have been really a little bit slower and better. Still, there is some kind of a tradition exists in both countries. Still, the traditional monarchy exists in both countries. So these two nations have not completely cut themselves off from the past. But the rest of the world, as if the old past was no good, just like a Nintendo game, they have to start from the new level. Everything. No usage of the past, but now they have to deal with all these wishes that they have, thousands of it, and all this achievement that they want to. But spiritually, they say it's absolutely no good. So, do we need spiritual values as just part of our life? I'm going to be discussing this. But I can tell you that right now it's like a car. If mankind could be resembled to his car, the car as a body has systems in it. There's a cooling system, there's exhaust system, there's electrical system. So of these three systems in there, you want to say, okay, I'm picking up on the exhaust system, I want to have picking on the electrical system, I don't need cooling system. This is the same way to say that I like economy, social progress, but I don't want a spiritual value. It's exactly the same thing. I say no when you want to go. So what happens to the poor man under these circumstances when he cannot get what he aimed for, what he set out to get? Now he has to deal with the consequences of that, which is embarrassment, failures, and all that. Okay? He is seriously suffering from achievement deficit disorder. That's the term I use in my psychology. Achievement deficit disorder. He's not been able to achieve what he wanted, and now is suffering. Most of the time these things happen to most of us, many of us. But when we go down, completely get bankrupted, gone down myself a few times, when you're down, still back of your mind, there are reasons you look at. Okay, there are my children there, there's my parents there. There's still that mountain I wanted to visit. There's still that place I wanted to go. There's that books I wanted to read. There's something keeps you like a cord and pulls you out of this sea of tribulations. Like a fisherman who has some kind of a rope. But if you don't have anything, there's nothing in the horizon, there's nothing forecasting for you. You're like that fisherman which has no rope, no anchor. He's lost in that storm. Are you going to get stressed out? Going to get depressed? And eventually suicide. Now we have to turn. The entire software in his head is corrupted. This software is corrupted. Because the definition of this subject about the progress is lame, is inadequate. This guy does not have any other way to get out. The same Japanese guys 300 years ago, he was dealing with the same thing. He's in his village, as I said, never gone anywhere. He just knows in his life maybe 50 people at the most. He don't know anybody else. Here a man knows thousands of actors and characters and name it. It's all installed in his head. So this poor farmer has a problem. Big, huge storm, typhoon, whatever comes and destroys his crop and burns his house. Okay. And or in an incident he gets a really seriously problem because his wife dies, children dies. Creates a lot of sociological problem. Because he have this spiritual standing and values, just like a 3 chambers in a house, when you see these 2 rooms are not good, who just moves to the 3rd room. He seeks refuge under his spiritual character. So, there are many ways that people suicide for. There are many reasons. But I have studied to know the common ground in all of them, excuse me, is really the lack of the balance. They've lost their balance. That's what it is. The balance is gone. As I said before, man has 3 basic needs: economical, social, and spiritual. Economical because we have body. The body needs. Although thousands of other false needs, which are greeds in fact, has added to the previous needs, but still it is essential. But their social values. We marry, we have kids, we have family, we have friends. We have respect in society. All of that are the social values. They are essential. So as the spiritual. As Karl Marx, and his follower, partly Mr. Mao Zedong, they were thinking that, okay, economy explains everything. If the economical relationship is not good, there will be a revolution. That's the formula for revolutions. I corrected it. I say that the needs, if it is not there, the problem happens. For example, in a country like Pakistan, India, economy would be the base of all the needs. That is what people are concentrating on that. In a country like Dubai, Kuwait, Saudi Arabia, social values are not treated properly. Women have no right. So that is the basis for a revolution right there. And it will poke right out someday. But a spiritual revolution, people say, no, yeah, it is. The spiritual revolution is coming. You could see it. The rise of people like Bin Laden or George Bush, or all the suicides or homicides, like this man recently in Norway, it is the sign of the spiritual starvations. Something is lacking. Just because they have all the money, or they don't want it. They say, we know what it is. Social value, we know what it is. I don't want to be prime minister, I don't want to be king, I don't want to be none of that. I don't want to be famous. But he's starving. He sees the world is not good. It's like a nihilistic view he has. Not everybody is like that, but many are. Then he tries to find a solution for their spirituality. Good, he couldn't use the religions nowadays that are around, from Shintoism to Buddhism, Hinduism, name it. Christianity, Islam, they're all no good. So then he tries to find a new religion on his own. What would the religions of the past do? I'm talking 10,000 years ago. They all had a ceremony in which they sacrificed the life of a man for gods. That's what George Bush did by killing people in Iraq. Because he's thinking, my higher father, he says. He thinks his God is his father, and his father needs the blood of the people. He has to kill them. And so is Bin Laden. He again thinks that, I'm close to king, I had all the money, I had everything, I don't need these things, I need somebody else. something else. My God is interested in American blood. I'm going to throw the American blood down. The fellow in the Norway was the same thing. He thought we needed a spiritual revolution, something big. In order to do that, we got to kill. So because they don't have any background to go back to, they're cut off spiritually from the past. They are like in the first level of Nintendo, and they act just like a man in the cave. A spirituality begins with killing. Killing yourself, good. Killing others, okay. You see? So this man in your country, Japan, Norway, very similar. They are two-dimensional people. The entire civilizations of Japan at the moment right now, it's a two-dimensionals. The dimension one is money, because you need it. Give me the money, give me the freedom, I'll do everything. Solution to everything. This is definitely in the head of everyone. And social values, because I get the money, I become famous, I order around, control this and that and that. That's the only thing they see. There's no spiritual values. So the three-dimensional space and the reality of this world, which is three-dimensional in reality, man lives in a two-dimensional world, like a flatliner. Okay? I give an example to this kind of a civilization. It's like elephantitis. One foot is big, which is economy and social values. The other one is spiritual, very small and minute. It's out of proportion. It's lopsided. It's like old days on a donkey or a horse. You put a lot of weight on one side and nothing in this side. What's going to happen? The donkey will fall down. This is why people suicide, because they are lopsided in one way. And then if you go to the doctors and you talk about, my wife has slept with somebody else, they say, okay, it's a psychological problem. The boy says, my mom and dad, they're fighting all the time. There's no more love in our family. Doctor says psychological problem. They don't see this is different from psychological problem. This isn't a spiritual problem. I give an example, like I'm going to doctor with my dog, and I'm talking to doctor about my problem, my stress, my distress. He's trying to fix my dog. He doesn't think I'm there. That's how the psychologists today are. They're ignoring the dimension, the spiritual dimensions of the man. Well, I'm going to give you a reason why. Of course, this is happening. I've seen the report that in Japan, youth, they suicide mostly under the pressure in their school because they have to achieve more than what they can. And others, they're all there because of the economical pressure, is, killing themselves. They've developed so many needs, such as drinking, such as, laying down on their couch, watching this TV, that satellite. Those things cannot be fulfilled. He thinks he's poor, is going to kill himself. And the reports of the government that has produced a report trying to reduce this ratio of the suicide, in my opinion, is giving Tylenol to the guy who has cancer. You may stop him for sometimes, but the potential is there. It's coming back. This man has hit that point. He's going to do it again. All his life is gone. His last power that he has finally escaped in this lane, and at the end of it, he saw it's a dead end. There's no door out. That's what he goes there again, to that end road. So this is not going really to help. I tell you that right now. The foundation is something else. We have to understand this. Philosophically, we have to understand this practically. And we have to understand how to apply this philosophy in real life. So when we talk about the spiritual values, most people laugh. They say, Abbas, so you want us to go back to Christianity, to Islam, or Buddhism, like the believe in those kind of things, you know, that even the Japanese forced the emperor of the Japan, Hirohito, to get out of this point that you are the descendant of God. You want us to go back there? Tell them no. Okay. Definitely a background, philosophical background, which my philosophy is a scientific philosophy. It's absolutely scientific. It's postulation, scientific postulation, all of it cannot be proven, but it's like theories that are scientific theories. You have to go to this series, watch from number 3 to number 20 to get some philosophical background as who we are and what is our relation and our point in this universe. What is our position, you know, we need the GPS, and that will provide that. But today, I'm going to talk in a practical way and say, okay, what part of our life needs religion? Where is this part that I am saying we're starving? Okay. The founder of the Baha'i faith is Baha'u'llah, means glory of God. I'll explain about him. He has proposed this theory called Baha'i faith on behalf of the creator of the universe. And he says, man grows to begin with in the womb of the mothers. In the womb of the mothers, he develops legs and hands and eyes and ears. None of it is useful to him there. But we all know, if he does not grow those things, as soon as he's giving birth, he'll be handicapped. I also know that when he comes, he'll use all of those things. Then there's a social womb. That's my projection of this philosophy. In this social womb, for 15 years, or 21, depending on the culture, the man has to grow with the protection and the pure love of a male and a female, called mother and father. They could be not up to children, but this love, the kind that it is different. It has to be there. This love, that the two people love each other, they talk to each other, they raise the children, they trust each other, is very, very important. All of you know that. Who's going to postulate the law to keep this social womb in place? Philosophers? Scientists? Doctors? Who is going to do that? Nobody's going to listen. Nobody. And even if they listen, there will be thousands of different forms of it. There's no unified, universal fact, matter of fact, that everyone in the planet inevitably have to follow. There's no such things. This is done only by the prophets of God. By the prophet of God, I'm strictly meaning Buddha, Krishna, the Hindu prophets, Muhammad, Muslim prophet, Jesus Christ, Christians, Moses, the prophets of the Jews. And there are some small, minute places like Zoroastrians, that there are some of them in Iran, some of them are in Afghanistan, Pakistan, many of them are in India too. Well, a small population, just like Jews. But they had a prophet called Zoroaster. And they say there are more, but at the moment, right now, we only know these people. These were the only ones that they postulated an order and the law that based on that families was formed. The vows were given to create a social womb. Again, if I have to talk why they are different from others and the evidences scientifically, I have to refer you to go to those videos again, from number 1 to 20. Number 3 to 20, you'll find out. I've been in Canada, I'm looking at the Muslims. They come from Middle East.